We all have to eat. You might as well find out where the best food is. From restaurant reviews to the fun of food from around the region to around the world. This is The Food Show with Andrew Coppolino on 570 News.
How about that? Hi, this is Pete Travers. This is an April Fool's joke, and everybody who listens to The Food Show, because it's not the usual understated, mellifluous tones of Andrew Coppolino. It's some sort of cruel joke. It's Pete Travers hosting today, and just happy to be here. Hi, everybody. I am the program director of 570 News, and occasionally you hear me on with Jeff Allen or Gary Doyle or Michelle Dyer from time to time, and you certainly hear my commercials on the air. And I said to Andrew some while back, I said, next time you're going to miss a weekend, rather than run tape, why don't you let me sit in there and host? Why, let me? I tap myself on the shoulder. I'm the program director. Jeez. Anyway. First thing I want to do is I'll say this. The difference between Andrew and Pete Travers as far as food goes is that Andrew has a sophisticated palate and approach to food that is very knowledgeable. I'm an everyman and or a hungry man, depending when you talk to me. You know what? I love to eat and I love food and I love talking about food, so I'm a natural for this chair. Let me get right to introducing our special guest today. I'm very happy and comforted to have these people in the office with me in the studio. Starting with the man across from me here.
Yes.
This is Neil Beaumont.
Who is known as
Boomer.
Absolutely.
That's right. So, in fact, you prefer to be called Boomer than Neil, I think. Is that true?
My mother calls me Boomer. I came out of the womb Boomer. I've been Boomer all my life, and when somebody calls me Neil Beaumont, it's very majestic, but yet it almost makes me feel too hoity-toity. I'm just a man's man. You can ask anybody on the street.
By the way,
what's that?
He's a man's man. Let me just verify. Man's man. Neil Beaumont. Boomer.
Boomer.
So,
yes.
Boomer, quickly now,
Yes.
people know you because they hear you, they've heard you over the years on Chime.
Mm-hmm.
Neil is the music director of Chime,
Mm-hmm.
96.7.
Absolutely.
And Kicks 106.
Yep. Kicks 106, Chime, and
We hear you on Kicks as well, correct?
Yes, I do. I do shifts on Kicks, and years ago when Chime was a AM signal, 10,000 watt signal, 570, which is where we sit now. That's where I started. And prior to that, 6 years in Guelph, been on air 32 years, and nothing compares to being here on a Sunday afternoon
with our other
the Chip
guest.
Lady, with Pete Travers, talking about food.
Well, there you go. So that leads us to the introduction of our second special guest. This is Sherry Brzezinski. Hello, Sherry.
Thank you, Pete.
Sherry has been the owner-operator for a few years. We're going to talk about, 8 years. We'll talk about that, of the Manitou Takeout. And that's not far from my neighborhood, and it used to be located in one spot. We're going to talk all about this later. But if you go to the Manitou Takeout, you can't miss Sherry because she's always got the pretty braids on. And I was telling Sherry, I said, you need to put your face on the front of it.
You do.
You should make it all.
But you know what? It'll look like Wendy on the Wendy side,
Yeah.
right? But it's the braids. But anyway, Sherry is here for the Manitou Takeout, and in our second segment, we are going to talk all about the Manitou Takeout. So the topics this week that we're going to talk about are chip wagons. I call them fry trucks,
Yep.
but Sherry said no, it's a chip wagon.
Yeah.
And Boomer and I went out to review and talk about fish and chips.
Absolutely.
So I want to remind the audience, if anybody feels the urge to phone in and tell us where their favorite chip wagon is or where their favorite fish and chips are.
Yes,
That's
please, call.
that's certainly part of the experience, and that's we would welcome those calls. So, just back to me for a second, if I can just tell the audience a little bit more about me.
Because it's always fun, right?
Pete Travers having trouble talking on the
air. You're not sweating as much.
No, you know what? Flop sweat. Okay, so just for what it's worth, because people hear me a little bit in the air, but they don't necessarily know, and so I feel here's the opportunity for me to tell you just a little bit more about me. I grew up in Burlington. Anybody in the audience from Burlington? Anybody here know Burlington very well? That's my hometown.
I know. I spent a week in Burlington one night.
Well, it's a wonderful spot.
Do they have chip wagons in Burlington?
Well, of course, somewhere they do. Of course they do. But notably, I mentioned Burlington because one of the things that I experienced in Burlington was Halifax Donairs. Now, I'm saying Halifax Donairs right now because that is, of anyone who knows me, that is my final meal.
If you're going out, you're on the Really?
If I have a choice for the final meal, it will be a Halifax Donair. And I know that we have lots of Maritimers in this town, lots of Noofs for sure. And I say to people, I said, have you had a Halifax Donair? And very few people, when I say it, know what I'm talking about. Do you guys know what I mean when I say that?
I have no idea.
You don't
I know what a Donair is.
You know what a Donair is,
not
right.
A Halifax.
But a true Donair is actually a Halifax Donair, okay? So we'll start topic number 1, Donairs. I'm going to talk about it for a second here because it is so important. The Donair is the cousin of the shawarma.
I love shawarma.
And it's also a cousin of the gyros. And the
Love
gyros
those
and the shawarma are, in fact, and again, this is just my perception of things, but through the Mediterranean part of the world, the pita is the sort of the predominant type of bread.
Most well known.
And the meat is cooked on the spit and then carved off the spit. And so if you're in a Greek restaurant, you'll get gyros. And so Donair looks the same as gyros in terms of what the meat looks like when it comes off. The dip. Hello. I guess I forgot to tell everybody, turn off your cell phones if you're on the air.
I think it's Rose.
Pete, shut up.
Pete, go home.
But let me say this. So what I used to live in Halifax. So part of my radio career took me to Halifax, and we lived there for quite a while. And having grown up in Burlington, when I got to Halifax, I saw a Donair shop because we had one in Burlington called Sammy's Donair. And little did I know how authentic it was. In Halifax, there's a very large Lebanese population. In fact, most of the pizza restaurants and corner stores are. Hi, cell phone. Sorry.
Mine's going to die, so I didn't have to
Hi,
shut it
honey,
off.
it's Rose.
This is
Did you
real
pick up
radio.
some bread on the way home?
Anyway, so the quick story about Donairs is that if you go online and look it up, they were invented in Halifax. I have not read anything to say otherwise.
I didn't know that.
And what makes a Donair unique compared to its gyros cousin and its shawarma cousin, I think gyros would tend to be lamb. And of course, shawarma could be beef or chicken or whatever. It doesn't matter. But the Donair tends to be, at least Halifax style, it is beef. And it is triple ground and packed on a spit and grilled. But the key to the Halifax Donair is the sauce. It's a sweet sauce. It's not tzatziki. It's not any other kind of sauce. It's a sweet sauce, which is condensed milk, vinegar, garlic, sugar. It's sweet and it's spectacular, and it's. I'm telling you, you owe it to yourself to have a Halifax Donair. I'm sure there's somebody out there listening.
And it originated in Halifax. I did not know that. Seriously.
In fact, it was invented at a place called the King of Donair. They claim to have invented it. And so when I went to Halifax, I went to the guy and said, I didn't know, by the way, that you can get a Donair on every corner of Halifax, every street corner, through the Maritimes, quite frankly.
Wow.
You can get a Donair everywhere. It's very much an East Coast tradition. If you watch Trailer Park Boys, they'll talk about the jalapeno chips and they'll talk about the Donairs. But when I went to Halifax, the guy who served me my first actual Donair in Halifax was Tony at Tony's Donair. And I said, boy, I feel like I'm at home. I just came from Burlington, and I used to get him from Sammy's. And he said, oh, I know Samir. He lived with me before he went down to Burlington to set his shop up. Really? And every town I've ever worked in or been in, I'm always looking for a place where they make them. And I've yet to find a Halifax Donair in my favorite place to live, which is Waterloo Region. I missed that. I found it in Windsor, Ottawa. Don't know. There must be one in Toronto
There
somewhere.
has to be one here.
But there doesn't seem to be. And in fact, I would say
They should call in if there is.
if there's an
one.
entrepreneur out there right now, they should be taking note because I believe that this is a great idea.
New menu item.
Well, you know what? I'm not. And by the way, I don't know the answer to this question, but I know that Newfies are not necessarily strictly the same as Maritimers, if you will. Okay, they're maritime, but they're not.
Absolutely.
But when we say Maritimers, I think we think about Nova Scotia, New Brunswick, PEI. So I don't know if and you seem to have some insight, Sherry, into the Newfie culture, so we'll get to that.
A little bit.
But I don't know if they love the donair the same way that people from Nova Scotia do. So these are questions that I don't know the answer to.
I don't know the answer to that one, Pete.
Anyway.
Because I didn't even know they originated in Halifax.
I had no idea either. I mean, I'm thinking
I can't
donair
believe
is some
nobody's ever told me.
exotic.
No, you know what? It's really good. It's not really that exotic. It's quite a nice taste. And I know that sometimes, falafel or some of these might seem exotic, but not. Donair's not really that exotic at all. It's quite great.
Wow.
Nice stable taste. Anyway, we're going to take a break and we're going to come back and talk about Manitou Takeout.
Mm-hmm.
All right, very very excited about that. We're going to learn about Sherry and learn about her business.
Manitou.
In the meantime, I'm Pete
love
Travers,
you,
sitting in for Andrew
Manitou.
Coppolino. This is the Food Show. You're listening to 570 News.
This is the Food Show with Andrew Coppolino. To call Andrew, 519-570-2545. By cell, star 570. Or toll free, 1-800-570-5715. Andrew Coppolino on 570 News.
Okay, I'm not Andrew Coppolino. This is Pete Travers, April Fools. I'm hosting the show today in place of Andrew, and I don't know if that's a good deal for you or a
That's a
bad
great
deal for you.
deal.
We're going to call it a
Great
good
deal
deal
for
right
me.
now.
I look
but
at you. You know what I want to do? I want to eat. I think of food.
Boomer associates me with food. My guest, Neil Beaumont, Boomer,
Yes.
from Kicks 106. You hear him on the air, and he's also the music director of Chime 96.7. But now our special guest for this segment is Sherry Brzezinski of Manitou Takeout. Now, quickly, I'll just tell you that I live down in the Pioneer Park area, and Manitou Takeout used to be located at the corner of Manitou and Bleems. Correct.
Yep.
And that's where I went in, and I thought, oh, there's the girl with the braids working.
Yep.
And
I remember it.
realizing that, okay, she owns the place, she's running the shop, and it's the best place in town, in my opinion, best chip wagon I've ever been to.
Me too.
And that made me a repeat customer,
yeah.
and
Lots
that
of
led
years
me
now.
to when I if I ever host this food show, I've been thinking about it for a while. I thought Sherry's going to be on. We're going to talk about her business. So let's tell us about the Manitou Takeout. And it's no longer located at that location,
No.
so that's sort of the first part
Yeah.
of the story. But tell us, how did you come to be the owner and operator of the best chip wagon in the region? Let's say the province, but we'll for sure the region, province, country. Go ahead.
Absolutely.
I wish. I used to be in transportation, and
You say transportation, you mean trucking, right?
I used to drive trucks, semis, all over the country, and then I dispatched them, and I sort of took it as far as I could go. And I was driving home one day, and I seen. Go ahead, Pete.
Go to the mic. Thank
Oh,
you.
sorry, Pete. I seen this chip wagon, and it said for sale, and I said I can do that, and I quit my job and I bought it.
Now that's a risky move.
It was
that,
very
was
risky
that
and very
worrisome for
scary.
you?
Oh yeah, because you make pretty good money when you're driving truck and then dispatching. Like it's a good industry to be in, but I just needed a change, and I just like a blink of an eye, literally. I changed my life.
And how long was it at that location? At Bleems and Manitou before. That's where I got its name, by the way, Manitou.
I've heard all sorts of stories, but I think it was closed down for 2 years. Then a lady had it for one season, and then I bought it.
Okay.
So it was pretty much not really going much before I took it over.
And how long was it there for before you moved it?
I'm thinking, how
To
I
its
had
current
it,
location, because we need to talk about where it is right
yeah,
now.
I
Where is
had
now?
it there 4 years,
4 years.
and
So
I've been
you-
in my current location 4 years now.
For 4 years. Okay,
Yeah.
so tell us about the move.
It was hard.
So
Took
what
a
made
lot
you-
of
what
friends
made
and
you
family.
move?
Just the property owner didn't want it there anymore. I was getting busier. I don't know if you're familiar with that area. It's a dust parking lot, so it was quite dirty for what I was doing and as busy as I was getting. So he just asked me to leave.
Okay, so
I know that sounds
no, and then you told
Yeah.
me that one of the challenges for if you're running a chip wagon is to
Huge
find your
challenges.
location. So tell us
Yeah.
about your location where you are now.
now I'm located on Rick Brenn's property, right where I don't know if I can say this, Napa Auto Parts.
Of course you can.
Okay, right there on Cortland before the expressway.
Right by the expressway. That's right.
And the way that came about was Rick Brenn was a customer, and he had approached me many times saying, you should move here, you should move here, you should move here. So when I got this letter from the previous property owner, the natural move was to give Rick a call, who's like a super guy.
Right on.
Yeah.
So now here you are located, Cortlandt Street, right between the expressway.
Yeah.
And now let's talk about why you have the best chip wagon in the world. I made some notes, different things, but one of the things, the most important things that makes you unique is the fact that your fries
Are fresh cut.
fresh cut.
Fresh every day.
Does anybody out
hard to
there
find.
not love fresh cut fries?
Yeah.
Nothing beats it.
Nothing beats
beats
fresh
it,
cut
no.
fries. And we'll be talking more about fresh cut fries in our next segment with Boomer. But that's a really, really important point. But now, go on. You've got, we were talking about what are your biggest sellers on your menu?
Obviously, my most popular item is poutine. Like, I've been told I have the best poutine in this area. I get lots of French people that,
Oh, by the way, poutine.
Poutine, yes, I know. They
Poutine.
correct me all the time.
Well, I lived in
Yeah.
Ottawa, and it's poutine
Yes.
in Ottawa. If you say
Yes,
poutine, they would look
absolutely.
Not where I come from, it's pauatine. We're not that versed.
But I guess my second most popular things are the Newfie fries, which is basically a homemade savory dressing with peas, onions, and gravy. And I know that doesn't sound like the most appealing thing, but it is so popular. And I mean, it's the Newfies that tell other people about it, and then it just sort of spread like wildfire. And then I guess the most current trend is the Newfie fries with cheese curds on it. So what I call that is the French Newfie.
Aha.
So a lot
Now-
of people love that.
If anyone's watching this, because we are video streaming, Sherry brought an order of poutine.
Yes,
I'm
I brought
saying it- I'm saying
poutine
it
and Newfie
Very
fries.
nice, Pete. I
Just trying
didn't
to
know
be,
you
I'm
speak
cultured.
French.
Trying to be cultured here.
Very nice.
And some Newfie fries. Now, so you're saying, and they're very, very popular. And do only Newfies come and order them, or does everyone?
No.
They're catching on, right?
Yeah, well, I have a lot of Newfies, God bless them. They spread the word about it, probably more than anyone, but yeah, I mean, they obviously buy it too, but it's everybody loves it. Like people that actually, like when they first think of it, like I find the people that think it sounds the grossest end up loving it the most.
Well, it sounds like comfort food in a way, doesn't it?
Oh, it's absolutely comfort food.
Now, the other Newfie angle here that we need to explore quickly are the cans of pop, which, again, this is radio. It's also on video, but for the purposes of radio, can you explain to everybody what this Newfie pop's all about? Because it's kind of funny. You were telling me about how
it's really interesting because the cans say Mississauga on them, but they come from Newfoundland. So what I'm surmising is that they ship the cans from the Pepsi plant in Mississauga down to Newfoundland, and they fill the product there. Because why else would it say Mississauga on them when they come? I see the packaging; it comes from Newfoundland.
As far as you know, you can't. This pop isn't available anywhere else.
Yeah.
I know it says Crush on it, but you're saying it's Newfie. It's Newfie Crush.
It's absolutely because there's a Pepsi plant there, right? And they
Boomer loves this, eh? Seriously, he'll be in your shop, by the way. If nothing else, he's in order.
You better be.
I'm coming down. I'll follow you out the door.
So okay,
Carry on,
now
sorry.
you know what's funny. Time
I'm
just
actually
goes.
working this afternoon.
Are you really?
Yeah.
Time is flying by here. So a couple things I want to make sure we talk about, and then in our final quarter hour, we'll talk about anything we've missed. Interesting points. Your
Yes.
gravy is vegetarian. Have you
Yes.
heard of that, Boomer?
I did not know
It
that.
is, yes.
Vegetarian,
It's a vegetarian,
gravy.
no protein gravy, which the people that love meat will never know it isn't. The flavor's there.
Wow.
But
I can attest to that,
it's
by
a
the way.
huge.
That the
You
flavor,
what?
that the flavor's there. I can attest to the fact that the
Absolutely,
flavor's
yeah,
there.
the
yes.
flavor's there, but it is vegetarian, so I serve they can't. The vegetarians really like that. I got a lot of customers that love that.
I gotta ask because I had no idea there was vegetarian gravy. How is this like a secret recipe or how do you do
No,
this? How do you
it is a bought gravy. It's not a homemade gravy, but it serves the purpose for like making everyone happy.
Okay.
The masses.
Serves the masses. Now, Sherry, you also said that Sherry at Manitou Takeout, by the way, Cortlandt, right near the expressway, has by the way, you have a website too, don't you?
Yes, ManitouTakeout.com.
Okay. And you're on Facebook as well.
I'm on Facebook. I have a face group, which I have 80 people, which I think is really good.
Are you on Twitter?
Yes, FryGirl40 at FryGirl40. I only have 30 some followers there,
All right.
and they're mostly NASCAR people.
Okay, so here's what we're gonna do. We're time is flying, as I knew it would. Time is
Yeah, I
flying
know.
by. So we're gonna come back and talk more about Manitou Takeout because your busiest day of the year is dead ahead.
Yeah,
which is
Friday.
the reason it's Friday.
Good Friday. Yeah.
It's Good Friday, and on Good Friday you sell so much fish and
Fish,
chips, and your
yeah.
fish and chips is excellent.
Yeah.
And I'll be trying it soon myself. Boomer and I went out, and we will be reviewing Granny Bonds up in Waterloo. We went out for fish and chips on Friday, and we'll tell you all about it when we come back. This is the Food Show on 570 News.
Predicting the weather is no easy task, and
You might as well find out where the best food is. From restaurant reviews to the fun of food from around the region to around the world. This is the Food Show with Andrew Coppolino on 570 News.
We're back. See, one of the things I'm not good at is turning my mic on. All right,
Yeah, the mic, that's very key.
Sorry about that for everybody who noticed that. By the way, a couple things, just some housekeeping items. I got an email from one of my friends, Candy. Thank you, Candy, for the email. Who says that the best? I don't know if she says the best but well, I think she did say the best, quite frankly. And I'll take issue with this, although I can't verify it.
All right.
She says the best down airs are in Calgary. Just saying that, okay?
In Calgary.
And we did have a caller that phoned in to say that there is a legitimate Halifax down air place, Guelph Line, Milton. Right off the 401, Guelph Line in Milton. So if you're looking for Pete Travers in the next few months, there's a chance if you go to that spot, I might be there, right? There's a chance. So
we know what you look like.
this part of the show is where we review a restaurant, and Boomer and I had the pleasure, I'm going to call it the pleasure, of going out to review Granny Bonds in Waterloo, right near Bridgeport. I guess, is it Lincoln? Right near Lincoln and
Just
Weaver.
Past
just,
the Lights Little Plaza
just
in
north
there,
of
Granny
Bridgeport.
Bonds, which I did not know, Pete, because I don't get out much. It's an institution. It's been around for years.
Yeah, I've heard of it.
Okay, so Boomer, let's hear about our visit. You start talking here because I'm monopolizing. Yeah, I'm not known to talk
Not
usually.
like you, Pete.
Not me to talk. So
No, Pete's busy.
Yeah, but
Pete.
having said that, you guys are yappers too, and
Yeah.
Boomer can definitely talk. So tell us, everybody, what's because I think we're on the same page on almost everything.
I think we are. Yeah. No, it's one of these places. When I went to it with you, it struck me as being one of these quaint, old-fashioned places that you want to go in and sit down and experience. And I had no problems with it. I thought it was fantastic. I know, Pete, you had the two-piece haddock dinner with fries,
Yes, I did.
coleslaw, lemon, and a Diet Pepsi. Very good.
Yes, I did.
I had
Just for the
the
taste of it, by the way. Just for the taste of that Diet Pepsi. I love it.
Exactly. I had the three-piece halibut with fries, coleslaw, and lemon, and a Dr. Pepper. By the way, in case you're wondering, you can't claim Dr. Pepper as a medical expense in your taxes.
Thank you.
Now, it was a wonderful place, and it struck me as when I walked in, there was years ago, my mom, who's actually listening, because I told her I was going to be on with you.
Hi, Mom.
Hi, Mom Beaumont.
Hi, Boomer's mom.
Hi. And we used to go to a place called London Fish and Chips in Guelph, where they had the fish and chips wrapped up in the newspapers and whatnot. It wasn't like that here. It was a sit-down restaurant. But the ambiance that I felt from this place made me think of that time. The clientele was fantastic. The service was terrific.
Mm-hmm. In fact, can I jump in and
Yes,
say
please.
why? Because I think you're going to say this anyway. But anyone who's eaten with me knows that I like to have some lemon for my Diet Pepsi. All right? It's one of the things that I like to get, and I get a lot of business. People give me the business about it, right? But anyway, so I'm ordering my meal, and I said I'd like to have lemon for the fish, but I'd like to have some lemon for my pop. We get to the table,
Yes.
and the lady brings us our cans of pop, and
With straws.
and I said to Boomer, I said, oh, I can't really put lemon in this pop so much because it's in the can still. Like almost as soon as I thought that, she shows up with the glass. She got that small detail and she got it right. That's great service to me.
Absolutely.
It is. It's the little details, not the least of which I will say, the food was terrific.
It was excellent. Fresh cut fries.
Fresh cut fries, as you will attest to.
Gotta be fresh cut fries.
Got to be fresh cut. The thing I noticed about the fish, no, I had the halibut. Mind you, this was on the Rogers Company bill, so I go 3-piece, you go 2-piece. That's but the not greasy. When I finished off the food, 2 hours later, I felt terrific. It was it was a great experience because I hadn't, sat down and had fish and chips, old-fashioned fish and chips, fresh cut fries in years, and that was a great place.
I think so too. I really enjoyed it. The food was great, and I'll say this: I've had fish and chips around town at places that I love. I haven't had it at the Manatee Takeout yet. That's on the list, okay?
You're
and
a
I know
burger
that
guy.
You sell a lot of fish on Good Friday. That's a big day for you. So do you want to tell us quickly about your fish and chips?
Mm-hmm.
Is there anything special you want to tell us about it, or it's just spectacular like always at
It's
Manitou?
just everything's spectacular there, of course, Pete.
And by the way, I should also, this is probably a good time to do this. Sherry brought in Newfie Pop, and one of the things that, what are the flavors, just out of curiosity, because that's, what were the flavors?
Well, there are different flavors. There's birch beer, white cream soda, lime, and pineapple. Pineapple, by far, is the best seller.
There you go. I just wanted to make sure we mention that because that's a small detail about Newfie Pop. The word crush is not specific.
No.
But pineapple, I haven't heard of pineapple crush. That's
Pineapple is a huge seller. It actually doesn't really taste like pineapple, though. I want you to try it today.
I will.
Yes.
We'll do that.
We will try that.
Now, Good Friday, you must be jammed.
It is. I've already started getting orders.
Really?
Yeah,
And
pre-orders. People call it in. Like, I give preference to the people that have timed orders.
Mm-hmm.
And, of course, I serve everyone, and I get to them. Like, I mean, there is a bit of a wait, probably the supper hour. You're looking at probably 20 minutes to 40 minutes. But we have her nailed down, and every year we just get better at it and busier. It's a crazy day. I guess as Granny Bonds probably will be too.
That was the thing I was going to say. Granny Bonds is also open on Good Friday.
Yes.
I think
They're open 11 to 8.
There you go.
On Good Friday.
Yeah. Same with us.
We were speaking about this, and there's a lot of good places in town to get fish and chips. So so that's one of the things as a guy who likes food, is like, where are other good spots to get it? I would say to you that over the years, I had many fish and chips at Rockaway. I used to love.
Yes.
And when you talk about Granny Bonds, what we experience in terms of the decor and the atmosphere. Similar to Rockaway, and as much as it's been around for a while, it harkens back to a simpler time, if you will, because I think the furniture was probably from that time.
But and you know what? One thing.
But that's part of the experience I like.
No, it is, and I'll tell you.
But they don't serve fish and chips anymore.
Who's that?
Rockaway.
No, it's gone. Rockaway's gone. It's an
Yeah.
African restaurant now.
Okay.
That's right.
But you know what? And
Just saying.
and can I toss a name out?
Please.
In terms of ambiance, when I walked into Granny Bonds, I'm with the decor and the atmosphere. I'm thinking when I walked into My King, the Chinese restaurant. That place looks like 1942.
History.
It's history, and it feels terrific. It's all, really it does. I mean, it's part of the experience. And and the tartar sauce had the right tar in it. That was good.
Just the right amount of tar in that tartar sauce. Thank
Exactly.
you. I'm sure Granny Bonds will be happy that you took note of that. But listen, so to wrap it up on Granny Bonds, we really enjoyed it. The food was great, and the experience was great. I'd go back anytime.
Yes.
I was going to say that another place, I like getting fish and chips from Sonny's up in Waterloo. That's another good spot. Any other spots that you guys want to plug for fish?
There's a new
Manatee
place
Takeout.
called...
You should be saying nothing but Manatee Takeout, by the way.
Manatee
Takeout.
But go ahead. Say
But I mean, there's so many people that we all can prosper, and it's that's the great thing about KW is, like there are a ton of people that we can service, so you don't even have to really worry about it. But I know I recently met the fellas that own the boat out by St. Jacobs. They're just getting themselves going. They bought some tables off me. So I'll give them a little
There you go.
help,
Spreading
right?
the fish and chip love.
Yeah.
By the way, if anybody out in the audience wants to tell us their favorite fish and chip place, we'd happily hear from you. 519-570-2545 is the number, or star 570 on your cell phone. I tell you to email me, but my email, I can't get it up on this computer here, so we'll stick to the phones. I don't know if anyone's going to call, but if someone wants to get in a plug for their place, let me also say this. Love the fish and chips at the Edelweiss, which is near where I live. And I'll say that one of these, in the last couple months, I was out with my family having supper at one of the roadhouses in town, okay? And the food there is great, this roadhouse. It's one of your chain roadhouse restaurants. But I ordered. Oh, see, the phones are lighting up now.
What did you mention?
Well, no, I don't know. You never know you never know how they.
You hit a button. You hit a button.
Maybe we're gonna hear some good recommendations. But I will say that that I ordered the fish and chips at the Roadhouse, and you know what? It wasn't the same. It wasn't good like like at these other places. Okay,
Yeah.
so what I'm saying is there's a sort of traditional way that of getting your fish and chips, and these places know how to do it right. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They really do.
I do serve a full menu on Good Friday though, so.
Aha.
And your full menu
Yes.
would be?
Like I have everything from barbecue beef, which is like excellent, homemade, footlongs, chicken on a bun. Like I have a vast menu, so the whole menu is available on Good Friday because it should be.
Do you cast judgment upon the meat eaters?
I do
on that
not.
day? You do not.
I do not.
Good
No.
business decision. All right. Okay. So it's funny. People are phoning, but they're hanging up. So I guess they're telling Jordan things for him to tell us things during the commercial. Oh,
Chickens?
okay. Someone wants to know the hours of Manitou. That's a good time to talk about that.
That
Okay,
is a good
so-
time. Yeah. I'm open 11 to 6 Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and 11 to 7 on every other day, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. But on Good Friday, we are open till 8. So
And-
you can get the last people in.
And one of
11
the,
to 8.
11 to 8.
Fantastic.
I think did your sister call maybe to tell us that you're the best? Is that what Jordan
My
tells me that your
sister?
sister?
Which
phones you?
one?
Do you want to say hi to your sister?
Sure.
You better say hi to all of them just
Yeah.
in case you don't know which one called.
I have to say, like, when I was first starting out, you
Uh-huh.
really rely on your friends and family. My backbone is TJ, my fiance, but my family, I mean, my sisters all know how to run my business. They basically all worked for free forever, like the first couple years. So, yeah, I mean, you have to give a lot of credit to them, too, right? So I don't know which sister's calling.
Well, send the love to all of them.
I send my love to all you
There you
sisters.
go.
And you have a big family too, don't you, Pete? You have a big family.
You mean girth?
Large. Well, no, not
or
girth.
numbers.
No, but I mean
Quantity
like
or quality?
Your family's lean, and you're
I
working on your
I'm,
12 pack.
That's
I
right,
like that.
exactly. Still on Manitou, you're open year round. And
Yes.
that's not something a lot of chick
That's very
wagons
rare.
can say. Okay, so tell us about that.
Well,
Was it always like that, or did you?
No, I've only been doing it the last couple of years. And the reason why is being off for 3 months is very hard financially. And just like at my age, who is off for 3 months? Someday that will be nice to be off for that amount of time. But for now, I think it's important to work and build up my clientele because I have all my worker guys and they're all dressed for it. Like I don't have heating or anything in there, but they come and I get my big company orders. I mean, I serve everyone from RIM to Better Business Spirit and Sheridan Nurseries. I mean, I do big company orders, and that's again why I have the vast menu that I have. So yeah, like, does that answer the question?
That totally answers the question. Hey, you know what? We're going to try something here. We're going to try and talk to Carol from Mount Forest. Are you ready?
Yes.
Because I think it's.
You got the right button there?
Hello, Carol. Hello. Did I do anything wrong here? Jordan, tell me. Help me. Hello, Carol. Are you there?
I can hear you on the radio, but I can't hear you on the phone.
Okay.
I can hear.
You can't hear me on the phone.
Oh, there you are.
Oh, can you hear me now? Okay, very good. Is it Carl or Carol?
Carol.
It's Carol.
Yes.
Carol, you're phoning from Mount Forest. Talk
Yeah.
to us. What do you got to tell us?
Well, there's a chip stand at the north end of Arthur that also serves Newfie fries that are incredible. So anybody that's out of town, like we are,
Okay, so tell whereabouts exactly now?
right at the north end of Arthur.
North end of Arthur.
Yeah.
And does it have a name? Does it have a special name?
You know what? It does, but I can't even remember it. And
Oh.
it's the only. I mean,
Is
the
Kathy
only-
the owner?
Pardon?
Kathy the owner? Is
I-
Kathy the owner?
Could be. I can't tell you that. Makes incredible Newfie fries. It sounds just like yours.
Yeah, well, she actually I know her.
Aha.
She
You gave her the
got her
recipe?
idea for me, I think.
Okay.
If
No,
it's the
she
same
doesn't-
one, I don't want to step on any toes, but she did come to me and talk to me, and
Yeah.
she's been doing very well.
And she's been open all winter. The
Yeah,
same,
she's a
which
sweet
is
lady.
Really surprising on Number 6 Highway in the winter.
Yeah, another out-of-town one would be Bev Brown out in Listowel.
Look at
She's
Sherry spreading the
awesome.
love to all the
Yeah.
chick wagons around,
Bev
eh?
Brown, Bevy Brown, I love that name. Isn't that the coolest name, Bevy
Bevy
Brown?
Brown.
The
Yeah.
fun part about this one at Arthur is when we went past one day in late October, we noticed a great big sign out in front. She was open at, I think it was 4 a.m. during hunting week.
Oh.
That's different.
There's
That's
an
clever.
entrepreneur-
So that's
there's
the
an
hunters are coming in
entrepreneur.
at 4 a.m. for the mowing down the chow, are they?
Yeah.
All right, Carol. Listen, thank you so much for
Okay.
listening. Thank you for phoning in.
Thank you.
We very much appreciate
Thank
that.
you. We'll check out Manitou. A takeout.
All
Thank
right.
you,
Good.
Carol.
Thanks.
Okay, so we're going to take a break here, but when we come back, Boomer and I are going to talk about Pete's misadventure And we'll wrap things up with Manitou because when we did this review of Granny Buns, it was not without adventure.
Yes, there's always an adventure with Pete Travers.
It was drama, quite frankly. Okay, how's that for
Can I narrate this?
I'm excited.
I think Boomer's going to tell most of the story.
Absolutely. Can I go to the bathroom now?
All right, everybody, thank you. Listening to The Food Show. We'll be right back. I'm Pete Travers. This is 570 News.
This is The Food Show with Andrew Coppolino. To call Andrew, 519-570-2545. By cell, star 570. Or toll free, 1-800-570-5715. Show with Andrew Coppolino on 570 News.
Turn the mic on, and we're back. You see, I in this short time, I've mastered the turn the mic on before you speak. Feel pretty good about that. I'm Pete Travers, filling in for Andrew Coppolino on The Food Show today. My guests, Neil Beaumont, Boomer.
Yes.
And Sherry Brzezinski from Manitou Takeout. Thank you for making it a fun hour. It's flying by really fast.
It really is.
But we do have, before we finish up, right ahead of Business to Business, by the way, our new business show at the Chamber of Commerce coming up at 1 o'clock. We have time to do a couple things. The first order of business is talk about the dramatic situation that occurred. I'll let Boomer tell it. I may have to jump in to correct him.
No,
I would not. He may.
I would not embellish this.
But you know what? Go ahead and embellish just a little bit.
All right,
if you go a little too far, I'll stop you.
Here's the deal. Pete Travers, a program director from 570 News, and I, Boomer, music director of Kicks 106, Chime 96.7, decide to go to Granny Bonds to have our dinner. Talk about it on the Food Network. Talk about it on the Food Show. We laugh. We cry. We leave. We decide to go to Tim Hortons because Tim said... Pete said, we have to go to Tim's. We have to get a large decaf, a regular coffee. We have to get the boss, i.e. Wendy, a large green tea. So we get there, large lineup in the drive-thru. So we sit there, we're talking, we're laughing. Pete, right? We're having a good time. Drive-thru starts to move 20 minutes later. Don't have to be back to my office for a while. We get there. And the lady at the microphone says, "Can I take your order, please?" So we take the order. Large coffee, large decaf, green tea, and then Pete starts to fumble around. Because what has Pete done? Pete's lost his wallet.
I looked, the wallet was not where it was supposed to be.
The wallet, he figures the wallet squirted out of its back pocket. It's down the seat. So Pete's talking to the lady at the Tim Hortons drive-thru. I'm fumbling around in the back trying to find the wallet.
By the way, this is the human condition.
This is the human condition because you're starting to sweat now, and I would too. Because so I'm looking for the wallet.
Heart rate's accelerated.
His blood pressure's 190 over 182. I'm figuring our next stop is St. Mary's. So can't find the wallet, and he's talking, and he's very articulate. I'm sorry. So we get to the drive-thru. We have to cancel the order for my boss's green tea.
Wendy didn't get her tea.
Did not get her tea. I popped in $2 because you paid $2 tip at the Granny Bonds. So
that was confidential, by the way, but go ahead.
Thank you very much. So Pete decides to go off, and I can relate to him because I have a little OCD, ADD, and the whole 9 yards. So this would freak me out. You are losing it. Pulls over properly, stops, doesn't hit a pedestrian, looks in the back of the car, can't find the wallet. So Pete says to me, "The wallet's at the restaurant. We got to go back to the restaurant." We get to the restaurant. He parks inappropriately because he's running. He goes into the restaurant. I'm waiting to move the vehicle. Pete comes out, and he gives me a thumbs up. And I knew as soon, I figured he's either got his wallet or he has somebody's wallet.
It's like winning a prize.
It is. And what that whole story translates to me is Granny Bonds is honest.
And you know what? I would expect most places, any
that
place,
happens
to be
all the
honest.
time.
Exactly. But you know something?
Phones,
Knowing what
wallets.
you have in your wallet,
we could
I'd
say,
accept it.
without any equivocation, that Granny Bonds will grab your wallet, put it behind the counter when you come and you get it back. So it was a great dramatic end to the day, and then I only made minor driving mishaps on the way back because my blood pressure was still
Did you have to go
high.
back to Tim
Do we
Hortons?
want to talk about that?
We didn't go back. We didn't, no, Wendy didn't get her tea.
No, Wendy
So-
didn't. Wendy did not get her tea, and we managed to make it back without any duress. But I will admit, you handle yourself well under pressure, because that would have set me. But it's the wallet.
Yeah.
It's the whole wallet thing.
You know why, Boomers? Because I had the right wingman. That's why.
Absolutely.
Yeah. But one other thing funny about Pete as a customer is when he comes into the Fry Shack, he gets like one of everything. Like he'll get a barbecue beef, a cheeseburger, a schnitzel.
Got a family
and
to feed.
I have to cut everything in half because they don't just have one thing. They share everything.
Yeah, that's right.
Do you,
You know
do
what?
you remember
I love
doing that,
my
Pete?
family, and we know how to eat. We know how to split everything
Because
up.
they
that's
might
very
not.
good.
They might want a little bit of everything. So he gets me to cut everything in half. I have to put everything on the stuff too. There's no self-serve with Pete. You got to do it for him.
He
He tells
does,
me
you know
exactly what he
Really,
wants.
he's
And
then
he's a high
a little
maintenance
bit.
customer.
He's one of my
Thank you so
faves.
much. Love going to Manitou, and the people that go there love it too. It's very, very awesome. You wanted to point out a couple things before we wrap this up.
Well-
Again, let's just remember where your location is.
Portland.
Right
Portland
by
and
the
Expressway.
Right by Napa.
Yes. And we are going to have a nice homemade coleslaw made by my cousin Lori on Friday. So she's pretty excited about
only
that.
on Friday?
Yeah, it's just on Good Friday that I have it.
A special on Good Friday.
Yeah. Any day's a Friday at the Manitou.
Can I do? I just have to do this. It's the only restaurant joke that I know, and if you've heard it, I apologize. Stop me if you've heard this. I walked into your restaurant one day, and I said, "Could I have a lobster tail?"
Uh-huh.
And she sat me down, put her pad and her paper down, her pen down, and said, "Once upon a time, there was this lobster."
Lobster tail.
Rib shot, please. Thank
Yes.
you so much. Thank you so much. Sherry, you also wanted to mention July 13th. Aside
Yes,
from
July
being Friday the
13th
13th.
It's
it
Friday
is-
13th, but it's also National French Fry Day.
There you go.
And I would like to hopefully partner up with somebody and do a charity event. So if anyone has an idea to partner up and do something, I would love to give back to my community and thank all my patrons and do something neat for that.
That's very, very
Great.
cool.
Yeah, I would really like to do that.
Remind us again the website.
ManitouTakeout.com.
You're on Facebook.
On Facebook, on Twitter at Frygirl40. Would like to see lots of followers.
Excellent. And Boomer, remind us when listeners can hear you on Kicks.
I am on Kicks Monday through Friday from the coveted 8-10 p.m. slot. You'll hear me on Saturday from 5 to 9. And without sounding too arrogant, too pretentious, I'm the Director of Musical Operations.
That's right. So the music on Kicks 106 and on Chime 96.7. He's the music director. He makes it awesome. And those are
I have Chime on.
spectacular radio stations, and we thank you for that. Coming up next, it's Business to Business. Glenn Pelche of 570 News Mornings. Ian McLean of the Greater Kitchener-Waterloo Chamber of Commerce. Greg DeRocher, Cambridge Chamber of Commerce. Business to Business, a spectacular show. And that's coming on at 1 o'clock. Thank you.
Thank you, Pete, for having me on
Well,
here. I
thank you for
appreciate it
coming
so
on.
much. It was so nice to meet you, Boomer.
You bet. Pleasure.
All
Loved
right.
it. This was so cool.
We're going to have Andrew's back, not next Sunday, but the Sunday following. We're going to have something else on for Easter Sunday. And thank you, everybody, for listening today. It's been fantastic. Much appreciated. If you want to email me with your complaints about this show for today's episode, it's Pete.
Can we eat next week on your credit card?
Yeah, we will do that.
Perfect.
Thank you. If I haven't
Can I
lost
come?
it by then. Pete at 570news.com. You can email me with any comment about this radio station or about this food show that you heard today. Thank you very, very much. Very, very much.
Very, very
Blah,
much.
blah,
Thank
blah,
you,
blah.
Pete.
Can't talk. Thank you. Pete Travers. This is the food show on 570 News. Thank you.
It happens every winter.